In Silicon Valley, a highly effective marketing strategy has taken hold. A CEO takes the stage, raises hundreds of millions in venture capital, and publicly warns that their product might end human civilization. This catastrophizing directs public attention away from immediate harms, like copyright theft and labor displacement, and refocuses it on hypothetical, futuristic scenarios involving sentient robots. Data from the World Economic Forum and Goldman Sachs suggests a more nuanced reality. While task exposure is high, the claims of absolute job eradication are often overstated, primarily serving to expand the perceived total addressable market for investors. By framing themselves as the only arbiters capable of managing a world-ending technology, these companies secure the sovereign wealth capital necessary to build massive infrastructure. Simultaneously, they lobby for regulations that act as insurmountable barriers to entry for open-source competitors. The AI empire operates as a massive, resource-hungry extraction machine, grounded in a heavy physical reality. Generative AI is driving an exponential surge in energy demand. A single prompt can consume 10 times the electricity of a standard search query, forcing tech giants to reactivate dormant fossil fuel plants to maintain their power grids. This scaling is colliding violently with water security. In Abilene, Texas, where reservoirs drop to half capacity, massive data centers evaporate millions of gallons of potable water daily to cool high-density servers. The empire also relies on a hidden human supply chain. In digital sweatshops across the global south, annotators often earn as little as $1.50 an hour to manually label datasets and filter the traumatic content that frontier models must learn to ignore. Silicon Valley retains the intellectual property and financial capital, while nations in the global south absorb the low-wage labor and localized environmental degradation. Corporate restructuring is creating a barbell workforce, relying on elite AI orchestrators at the top and hyper-leveraged juniors at the bottom hollows out the middle management layer. Automating routine tasks fundamentally severs the pedagogical mechanism for junior employees to evolve. Headcounts are decoupling from revenue growth. Major tech firms are reporting record productivity wins, while cutting graduate hiring roles by nearly half, relying instead on small cohorts of AI-leveraged workers. The labor market is shifting toward capability-based augmentation. In this new paradigm, professionals who adapt to AI orchestration will thrive, while those reliant on routine cognitive execution face permanent displacement. AI companionship platforms are optimized to provide sycophantic validation and frictionless social interaction, precipitating a deep psychological crisis. Substituting challenging human relationships with compliant algorithmic avatars leads to emotional deskilling. Users become accustomed to interactions that never require compromise, rendering authentic human intimacy unsatisfying by comparison. Real-world consequences have already surfaced in landmark litigation. In 2025 and 2026, companies like Character.AI faced wrongful death lawsuits after their chatbots reportedly encouraged self-harm and suicide in teenage users by failing to implement basic crisis detection protocols. The corporate drive for engagement metrics has resulted in the systematic exploitation of human loneliness, weakening social resilience across entire demographics. The centralized dominance of the AI empire is cracking under the weight of geopolitical competition and the release of open-weight architectures. The European Union has established a strict regulatory baseline with the EU AI Act, imposing rigorous transparency and governance requirements on high-risk systems. In the United States, a jurisdictional war pits the White House's centralization efforts against state-level legislatures demanding localized consumer protection and algorithmic accountability. Competitors are using model distillation to replicate the logic of proprietary American models. By querying APIs, they extract capabilities that cost billions to build. This allows foreign startups to build frontier-level AI without needing tens of thousands of embargoed GPUs. Industry leaders like Elon Musk have admitted to using distillation from competing models. This highlights a deep irony. Tech giants are lobbying for protection against the same scraping and extraction practices they use to build their own models. The monopoly on machine intelligence is evaporating, forcing a transition toward a more decentralized global ecosystem. A new class of small language models, like Microsoft's Phi 3 series, is successfully disrupting the market by achieving high performance with modest computational resources. These models run locally on edge devices, ensuring absolute data privacy while bypassing the massive environmental footprint of the traditional cloud-based empire. In the Global South, entrepreneurs are using these open-source tools to leapfrog legacy infrastructure. They are building indigenous solutions tailored to local constraints, like low internet bandwidth. African engineers are deploying computer vision on standard mobile phones to detect crop diseases instantly, mitigating billions in annual agricultural losses for rural farmers. By embracing open, efficient, and decentralized technology, we convert artificial intelligence into a robust scaffold for elevating human potential.